This episode of Go Be Wyoming is brought to you by Fly Sheridan. Save time, fly local, fly Sheridan. And welcome back, all you Wyoming knuckleheads. This is another episode of GoBeWYO. I'm your host, Aaron Gray. Carter Wells is here helping me out with this live stream and stuff. I feel like I'm a old guy where I'm like, I don't know anything that's going on. But today we've got a reoccurring guest, Miss Wyoming 2021, Mackenzie Kern, coming on again. Thanks for coming back on, Mackenzie. And this is going a lot smoother than our last one. I can say that.
No, I'm so excited. I love talking with you guys, so it's going to be a good one.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm excited. We've got some good questions, I think, because we're leading up to the big competition. You've been doing a lot of prep, so I think for everyone out there, this will be really insightful. If they missed your first one, they need to go listen to it, because I'm not going to ask the same questions about why you got into pageants, how that one went. So
I agree. They got to go. They have to do their research.
Yes, absolutely. So make sure you go listen to that one or watch it. So, okay, Mackenzie. So tell me about your last couple months. It's been a lot of prep, like you just said before we started recording. This is kind of the first time you've been home for a couple days.
Yeah. No, it's been insane. I'm kind of just trying to soak in my last week or so with family and friends and spend all. I've been bouncing back between Minnesota, California. I went to Cancun, which I totally forgot about that part of my life. That was a big little trip for this. But yeah, I'm just grateful. But travel's really fun. It just does get exhausting, but I love it.
Yeah. What were you doing in Cancun? Because I think it was a Miss USA. Was it a Miss USA thing, or what was that?
Yes. Yeah. So they took all of us. I think it was around September. It was September 17th through the 20th. And we all went to Cancun. It was my first time out of the country, which was insane because I did it alone. And so many funny things happened. I actually ended up, we were at the nicest resort ever, and I'm Wyoming and everything's alphabetical. So I got this huge room at the resort just all to myself. Oh no, can you hear me?
Yes. No, you've been great. No, you're good. I'll let you know.
Oh, perfect. You kind of cracked up on my end, so I just wanted to make sure. But yeah, and I got to meet all of the girls, practice walking, interviewing, and try really good food. So that was fun. And I got to go to the beach, which was iconic.
Yes, which is always nice.
Yeah, I needed that in my life.
That's awesome. So what all did all you girls do down there? So it was kind of like a get to know each other, or was it kind of some training, or what was it?
I think they did a really great job blending like prep and experience because they wanted us to have like a magical time. So it wasn't all work based. So we got to go to really special events and dress up very high end. I had like the best filet of my life at this restaurant. And we had a lot of just meeting each other, knowing the team, hair and makeup. We had a photo shoot for our official Miss USA headshot, which I'm really excited to see that. I still haven't. And then like walking, interview, all of that stuff. So it's a very good balance.
Awesome. So
and it kind of like debriefed all of us. Yeah. So we're not very nervous. We know everyone.
Cool. Very cool. Well, that's awesome. That's a great thing that they did that.
Yeah, no, it was really fun.
Well, let's talking about the other girls in your prep. Or actually, let's lead into this one. Why is it important to you? You're just talking about your travel, and just how traveling is really just really hard on the body. But why is it important to you to keep up with your mental health, and probably for you spiritual health and then physical health? Because I know you keep your body in shape too for all this. But why is that important to you?
Yeah. Honestly, in my prep for Miss USA, everyone's like expecting me to be insane, like workout, eating, everything. But I think when you're at a competition of this caliber, your mental health really does have to come first. So I've been investing in just like personal time, journaling, reading insightful books. I surround myself with positive affirmations and just people that uplift me, and like vice versa. Like everyone in my life is really amazing, and I'm very blessed by that. But physical health, I've always been very into it. Working out, eating healthy, I enjoy that. So, I mean, that's just easy. But I think that it's all a blend to make sure that you're a healthy person. So I'm qualified to be Miss USA because health comes first in anything. So
awesome. Well, and I think that's a great message. Mental health needs to be priority, and And
Oh,
then
for sure.
physical health, like you said, I think is important, that you got to enjoy it. So that way it's not a burden on you and
Yeah.
a chore.
I wanted it to be a really beautiful experience for myself personally. I switched trainers a few times and I finally found one that just works with me, because at the end of the day, I can like look however I look at Miss USA, but if I'm in a good place mentally, I know that I'll be able to take on any challenge that comes my way.
100%. Love that. I think
Mhm.
any young girl should hear that, or really all women should hear that. I think that's well said. Okay, here's
Mhm.
here's the uncomfortable question. I wouldn't say uncomfortable question, but what are some
Oh
traits
no.
or characteristics about you that you think separate you from some of the other girls you're going to be competing with?
Well, I love this question. Just kidding. But every girl, I mean, we're all successful, determined, everything like that. I mean, we're all here for a reason. But I know, and I feel like for me personally, that this was just in my divine plan. Like since a young age, I remember watching Mia Sanchez get crowned in 2014. And I mean, like I just had Applebee's, and I remember the day, it was June 8th, 2014. So weird. But I was watching it and I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. And it was never about anything else. I just saw Miss USA and Miss Universe, and like even prepping for Miss USA, I'm like, I'm ready for the next step. I'm ready and understand that I would be representing the USA at Miss Universe. So I think it's just preparation and like my energy. I know that I have a lot to offer, as does any other girl, but I know that I could do it in a magical way and really make an impact. And that's all I've ever wanted to do in life.
Awesome. Well said. I love it.
Mhm.
And then, of course, get
Yeah.
to represent your home state. So nothing better than that.
Yeah, especially being like from Wyoming, it would make history. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons and one of my things that just motivate me even on my hard days. Because if I do this, which I think that there's a high chance, I just have a feeling. I mean, I put the work in, but for little girls and little boys, just anyone in a smaller state to see that someone does something so extraordinary, it's for them. Like, so they know and they can like follow in the footsteps that I've created. That's literally a dream to me.
That's awesome. I love that. That's
Hmm.
a great answer. Would you
Thank
say that's
you.
your role model, or do you have a different role model in regards to you had that moment and you remember that moment of watching that
Hmm.
USA, but do you have a role model that you've kind of modeled yourself after? And it doesn't have to be pageants, maybe in business.
Hmm. Well, for me personally, it's always been very hard for me to be inspired by someone else. I admire traits and characteristics of other people, but at the end of the day, like I want to be my own person, and then just like if they're, I just admire who they are as a person. But I wouldn't say that I necessarily have a role model. It's just like, oh, she did amazing. Like I want to do that too. You know, Nia, it's actually funny because that was obviously the moment that I just saw that that opportunity was available and out there, and it just triggered that dream in me. But she is like more of a friend now, and I've been working with her as I prepare for Miss USA. And she came to my, it wasn't my final fitting in LA, but she went there, and it was just really cool.
That's
So
awesome.
full circle moment for sure.
Yeah, your role
Mhm.
model, or someone becomes a
Mhm.
friend. That's
Info.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's
What's that
awesome.
one quote? It's like, I'm gonna butcher it if I even try it, but it's basically like they used to be your role models, but now you're like running with them. And
Mhm.
I've always naturally gravitated towards former Miss USA's. I have an internship with Kristen Dalton Wolf and Mia and just so many of them. And it's like, okay, well, if I can run with them, then I can be one of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
It's been
absolutely.
fun.
No, that's great. No, that's awesome. Um, let's see. I want to make sure I don't miss a question here. We'll talk about your dress fitting. How was that experience? I got
Oh my
following
gosh.
your stories. You had the idea, drew it up, and
Hmm.
don't want to give too much away, but
Yeah.
what was the experience like?
So actually, the opportunity to work with any designer is new this year. For in the past, it's only been like you can work with Hill. She was a huge sponsor and still is. I'm pretty sure she sponsors the teen pageant. But we kind of had that creativity and that opportunity to work with anyone that we wanted. And for me, being in the fashion industry, that was like a huge God wink just for me to be able to do that in my experience. I was like, wow, like the fact that that would change this year. And so I was looking for many different designers. I've had my eye on a lot just throughout the years, and I could not reach anyone. Like the communication with all people was so difficult. I tried Instagram, email, I had other people trying, and I finally, when is this going to be posted? And I'll tell you the designer maybe.
We can wait till when you're competing, then that way you can announce.
Yeah,
You can
let's
announce.
do that. Okay,
Yeah.
that'll be perfect. And then we can lead in and be like, I dropped some little sneak peeks. But I'm working with Michael Costello, who actually designed Ania's dress, which is weird how that worked out. No idea. But yeah, my dress is everything that I could ever dream of. And it's something that honestly, I mean, has not ever, it's a Miss Universe dress. It's ready to go. Like, girl on moment. That's what I'll say for now.
Wonderful. Well, we're glad that we'll be able to release that info right before the competition. So Costello, and he's in LA, isn't he?
Yes, he is. So going to his studio was just one of those things for me that I realized how much there is to life, because I saw his studio and all of that, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I want to be here one day. So it kind of like brought me back to another goal of mine, the fashion world. And I was just like, it's just really LA. I feel like I have a soul connection to that place. I love it there. And I'm, regardless of the outcome of this pageant, I'm going to end up in LA for sure.
LA is a pretty cool place. It's big, but it's there's so much there. I'll agree with that. Well, that's awesome.
I'll come back to Wyoming though.
Oh, of course. Well, we're glad GoBeWYO could get that little snippet there.
Same.
Kind of on the same thread. This is great. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? You know, talking about you see yourself, you know, coming back, going to LA. But yeah, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Maybe the business, you professionally.
Well, just honestly speaking, I know that I'm gonna have my boutique, and that's gonna be expanded on. I'm transitioning to a unisex label. I mean, it's gonna be pretty diverse, but I just want clothing for everyone. My best friend Braden kind of inspired that, because when I was going through hard times, we shared a lot of clothes. And I mean, he's a boy and I'm a girl, but like clothing doesn't really need to have a gender. It just needs to be appreciated for the style and what it brings. And it can bring a lot of comfort in those times when you have like the connection of an item to someone that you love. And that's something that I want to implement into Love Leigh, especially, and spread a message on that and mental health, and incorporate that into my blog and all of that. But 5 years from now, I'm kind of hoping that I'm starting a family. I'm probably going to be somewhere warmer, so Los Angeles or Arizona. I just love that area. And business, making moves, like I'm going to be successful. There's no other way. I got to do it. Got to do what I got to do. And hopefully I have a podcast.
Love it. Yeah, nothing's going to stop you. That's great. I do think that's a wonderful idea on the unisex. You know, I think another thing that could be added into that is sustainability, because now it can be shared. You know, you're sharing.
That? Sorry, you cracked up. I'm trying to.
No, that's okay. Sustainability, I think, too.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, that's a big thing too, because I just want, if I have the access to make my own clothing and have my own workshop and everything like that, I know that everything's done ethically and sourced in a way that I want it to be. So that's something that's on my to-do list for sure. It's no easy task, but we're gonna do it. I'll always figure it out.
Well, and we're excited to see that podcast idea of yours, because I think from the pageant and everything, you'll have so many connections, you know, in fashion and I mean anything. So that will be exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I'll have to hit you up for some tips.
Yes, we can help you. And Carter here, DYT Solutions, the video stuff, like I don't want to touch it, so he's always been helpful. So
Perfect.
Okay, this one's, I think we kind of asked this the first time, but not really, because you've done a lot more prep and have a lot of more things going on. What has been the big challenge leading up to this one so far for you?
I think it's kind of like a shot in the dark, because I mean, I'm not struggling with anything. I have waited my whole life for this, and I knew myself in the position to be ready for this opportunity, that my mental health had to be insane. So I'm like really great in that aspect, but like not knowing, like not being able to plan anything because I don't know what's going to happen. Like if I win, I'm going to LA. I have media week. I go to Israel for Miss Universe. Like I mean, I won't be home for Christmas with my family. Like it's just really hard. So I guess just the unexpected, the unknown. But it's not
Mm.
something that I'm scared of. It's just like, oh my gosh, like I don't know when I'm going to see people again. I don't know when I'm going to be able to hug them. So I've just really been appreciating again, like the time that I do have with them, because I am ready. I mean, I guess to sacrifice a little bit for the time being to step into this for myself and take on opportunity. But yeah, it's difficult. I'm going to miss everyone.
That's great. That was well. And my next question was, what you kind of walk through, and I didn't know this, so this will be great again to kind of recap it. So if you win, there's
Mm-hmm.
not really a whole lot of time for you to kind of celebrate with your family. It sounds like you're on to the next thing.
No, I'm pretty sure that same night it's like a red eye to LA, or actually New York, because we go on the Today Show and we have media week all week. And then I mean, they were like, bring a lot of shoes. We have a stylist for you guys. If they're already making Miss Universe's dress, so it's like easy to be tailored to her. And basically, we get a new closet, all of that stuff. I think Miss USA gets a Porsche and like all this insane stuff. So it's really
Wow.
exciting. But yeah, like I'm off after that for the year or 2 years if you win Miss Universe.
Yeah. So kind of just
Mm-hmm.
smile and wave to the family that's there, and then you're out.
I mean, there's gonna be a few tears in there. I'm not even gonna lie, but I'll hug them real quick. I'm gonna have so many emotions going on. I don't
Yeah.
know. I got asked in Cancun. They were like, "So what are you gonna do if you like win? Like, what's your Asia just put the crown on your head? What's your action?" And I kind of just sat there and I was like, I have no idea. Like, I'm not sure. Like, ask me like in the shower. Like, I can practice that and like pretend I know how it feels, but I can't act it unless it's actually happening.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think, like you said, that's a very weird, that would be a very weird experience, and you can't, I don't think you
No,
can
it's
practice.
such a genuine moment. It's like, I don't know if I'm gonna cry. I don't know if I'm gonna fist pump in the air. I don't know if I'm gonna fall to the ground. Like, you just don't know. So
Yeah.
not sure.
That's great. No, that's awesome. Well, that was kind of my question there, so that's good to know. Um, what kind of on the challenge part of this prep, what has been your biggest success, you think? What about you that you've been um, just crushing it on whatever that's come your way on this one?
My time management and my consistency and my ability to create a routine for myself, that's something that I really like prior to. I knew I was going to be so busy, and if I lost sight of a routine, it would crumble. And so, I mean, I just have my little things that I do. And like, if I'm getting overwhelmed, I'm like, okay, Mackenzie, like, I got to take a step back. I need to go back to my roots, whether that be going like for a drive, taking the day off from like other things, or just spending time with best friends. Like, you never know. So I've just been listening to my heart. And I think that that's something that I'm proud of. And also just being authentic. Like, there has not been one moment. If I ever feel like I have to conform to a situation, it causes like a big strain on my heart, because that's just not who I am. So I've been very good about just being Mackenzie, and like, if that's not good enough for you, then sorry.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Love that too. Though that's great. And I think that leads into my next question of, I can't believe we didn't ask you this before.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been bullied because you do pageants? And why do you think people have a negative image of pageantry? And I think your answer
Mm-hmm.
there, just be authentic, because I think there are probably some people that do pageants that aren't authentic.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to hear, one,
That's
have you
in
ever been bullied?
anything though. Yeah. Well, there's bad apples in any like career or anything
Mhm.
like that. But honestly, our class, and I can speak on my behalf, like with my experience, the girls are amazing. And it's been the biggest blessing to just meet girls that have just the same characteristics as me. And it's easier to relate to a lot of these women, which I've loved. But yes, there has been bullying. Having this as a hobby, honestly, it only happened really in high school. I mean, it might happen behind my back now, but I don't really
Sure.
listen to the haters, but
Yeah.
I mean, I struggled. So when I competed for Miss Wyoming USA, it was a process. It took me like 4 years. And by that fourth year, right before I won, because I started when I was 14, and like the difference between a 14-year-old and an 18-year-old is extreme. And I had never done it before, and I jumped right into the USA system. And people didn't really know. It was just like they knew that I was a pageant girl, which is so much more than that. But many people were just like, oh, she must not be able to speak. She must not be able to interview well. Like, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. There was group text, stuff like that going on, especially in the midst of like my prep for that.
Right.
But for this phase of my life, I think I've kind of been like, hey, like this is what I do, but I have like a purpose behind it, and like starting my boutique and everything. I think I've showed people that it's so much more than that. Like, this is my gateway as someone from Wyoming to really be heard. And it's so much more than just like being a pretty face. Like, I have a lot to offer. And I've proven myself, at least to many people in my community, which is nice. And what else was I going to say? You asked something and it was so good. You were talking about, what did you say? Did you say stereotypes about pageantry?
That or just the negative image. Yeah.
Oh, I get a lot of people assume that I'm just going to be fake, conceited, and very on my high horse. But one thing that I love is like, I'm not the type of person, I'm like, oh, hi, I'm Mackenzie and I'm Miss Wyoming USA. Like, it's kind of like the last thing that I'll ever tell anyone. Because, I mean, at first I am Mackenzie before I'm anything. And if Mackenzie isn't solid, then nothing else is going to be solid. So I think that it's for people to know that about me and then meet me and understand who I am. They're like, oh, like, this is cool, because I've never had a bad experience. I mean, like the girls at the coffee shop that I go to at Human Beans, everyone's so supportive, and it's just become, they're like, oh, hey, Miss USA. Like, it's just like funny. But
Yeah.
I don't know. There's not really a stereotype for me. I think I kind of crushed it because I'm just like, be real, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I
Mm-hmm.
think, you're right. High school is probably where the stereotype comes from, right? And
Yeah. When you're
I think,
younger.
like you said, there's a big difference between a 14-year-old and an 18-year-old. So, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and but no, that's great. No, I love hearing that. And that's, just being authentic. And I think you are doing a really wonderful job about that, being Miss Wyoming. So,
Thank you. That means a
it's,
lot.
yeah, absolutely. Well, we're excited. That's kind of all the questions I had this go around. Is there anything you wanted to add?
Um, Gosh, I mean, we covered a lot. I don't know. I mean, no, that was a good interview. I actually had so much fun.
Good. Okay. Awesome. Well, I'm glad. And it's great when you have a good guest. You got to say that when you have a good guest and they have great answers, that's easy for me.
Aw.
Um, I will say, just to give you a plug, so the competition will be November 29th on FYI and Hulu, which is pretty cool. I think a lot of people have
Mhm.
Hulu. So um, keep following
Yeah.
you on all the social media at Miss YO USA. Um, Anything else to add there? Is anyone going to get a sneak peek of the dress or anything like that on your social media, or is that going to be competition day?
I think once I compete in it, all of the behind the scenes photos are going to be out there. I have
Wonderful.
so many, and you don't understand, as someone who is so obsessed with fashion, and like, it's not just a concept for me. It wasn't just like an idea. Like, literally, there's so many like hidden things in this dress that mean so much to me. And I also had like my state in mind, especially with just the designing. Like, I wanted to represent so much. And
Mhm.
so the day that I'm able to do behind the scenes, I'll literally tag you in the post because it's going to be exciting. But I have a lot of things.
Love it. Well, there
Mm-hmm.
goes. GoBeWYO gets another exclusive on that one. Well, no, well, we're excited. We're excited to see it. We're excited to see you compete. No, this was great. Yeah, no, we had some, those were great questions, great answers.
Yeah,
And I'm glad
thank
this worked
you.
out timing wise. No, that worked out. You and I had both a crazy morning, and it worked
Yeah,
out
but
fine.
we make
So,
it work. We always come
yes.
through. We're good.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Mackenzie, thanks for your time again, and good luck. And we'll be in touch, and hopefully everything works out for you on November 29th.
Hopefully. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thanks, Mackenzie. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.